Thrilled to have here on the first time on this show. I loved his work in the Knick, man. You know what I felt about the Knick. That show should never have been canceled. We should be seeing season 19 of it years from now. And he plays the role of Toby Damon on This Is Us, and he's here to talk about the debut album of Joseph the Spouse. Debut album 6 Feet From Under is available now wherever you get your music. The actor Chris Sullivan here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Chris?
Hey, thanks, man. I'm doing well. Thanks for being a fan of the Knick.
That is one of the greatest shows in the history of television, Chris. Period. End of story.
Thanks, man.
And I honestly,
Thank you.
now that I'm hearing your voice, after obviously I hear your voice on This Is Us, how does a kid from Palm Springs nail the accent of someone from Ireland like you did? How'd you nail that?
When I was 18 or 19 getting started in acting, I realized I'm a 6'4" man of Irish descent. Yeah. At some point, I am going to be called upon to fulfill my destiny, and so I just started practicing early and picking up a lot of different regions, and then by the time Steven Soderbergh came calling, I was ready to go.
What was it like working with him, Chris?
He's an incredibly unique artist. For those who don't know, Steven Soderbergh is a director who also operates his own camera and also edits all of his own footage. And so what you end up with is a singular vision, and it makes for a really focused, really high-intensity, fast-moving, but calm set. It's a very interesting place to work. Nobody else works like him, so it was a real treat.
What do you mean calm? What do you mean by that, Chris?
Like he's just sure. He just knows what he needs because he's operating the camera and he's editing. So there's no extra filler. We're not shooting things on the off chance that he might use them. So he just shows up. He knows exactly what he wants. He tells you what he wants. And as soon as he gets it, he moves on. And there's not really a lot of second guessing himself. I've never seen anything like it.
And it was amazing. It was a couple of seasons, and I think the seasons that were being planned, but then eventually scrapped, was to take the Knick, the hospital from the late 1800s, early 20th century, and put it in the future. I mean, it was about to be. It's about to really get interesting.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of people who are threatening to bring it back. So let's see what happens.
Are you dropping a little? Was that a breadcrumb I just heard drop on the floor there, Chris?
That's a breadcrumb for me too. I hear these things from the internet.
Okay, fantastic.
And then I just wait and see what happens.
Okay, so a kid from Palm Springs, California. Do you have a sports team that you follow? Any sports that interest you, Chris Sullivan?
I was born in Palm Springs, but my dad's work took us up to Sacramento in 1986.
Okay.
So that was right in the sweet spot for your Joe Montana, Steve Young, 49er years. And I think we arrived right as, the Bash brothers were playing for the A's. The Giants were big back then. So it was a good kind of period for a kid to be in Central California.
So you, Chris Sullivan, have been to Candlestick back in the day? Did you go to some games at the Stick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh,
absolutely. One of those ballparks that are situated, in neighbor. I mean, technically that's a neighborhood.
It was. Well, I mean, if anybody ever tried to get out of Candlestick, they'd know that was a neighborhood. Oh yeah,
you were in a neighborhood.
That's Burlingame, man. I mean, that was it. Oh yes,
it had the same kind of special vibe. I spent my acting career started in Chicago, so that same special vibe that Wrigley Field has. Especially for an actor with very little money to show up. Sixth inning and get a $10 ticket and walk into Wrigley Field. whatever afternoon was a special feeling.
I mean, Wrigley Field, Chris, looked like a movie. It still does. Looks like a movie set, like the old movie Blazing Saddles, where they created a fake rock ridge. It looks like it's a set, like you could just shove it right over. It really is amazing. Wrigley.
It's a special spot.
No doubt. Chris Sullivan here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, so music, sir. This is your debut album, 6 Feet from Under, but you're not Chris Sullivan. You're Joseph the Spouse, right? That's what you got right here.
Yeah. I took on a bit of a character to deliver the music through.
Okay.
I don't know, it felt kind of right as an actor. So yeah, kind of a moniker to perform under, to kind of create a bit of distance between myself and the music.
Okay, so who is Joseph the Spouse then? Who is Joseph the Spouse then?
Well,
Chris?
Joseph, I was in an Eastern Mass a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I'm not Catholic, but I went with a couple of family members, and they started rattling off saints, and they started naming all the ones you've heard of, and then they got to some more, kind of lesser-known saints, and all of a sudden the priest said Joseph the Spouse, and it's Joseph of the Joseph and Mary story, and I just had kind of started thinking about this character in literature who's really only claimed to fame as being the witness to this miracle, and I feel the same way when I'm playing music and when I get the opportunity to collaborate with other artists. It feels like I'm witnessing a miracle, like something is appearing from nothing, and so the name just kind of stuck. We decided to run with it.
Okay, 6 Feet from Under. I can kind of guess what that's intimating right here.
Still breathing.
Okay.
Still breathing, Rich.
There you go. Available now wherever you get your music. Also still breathing quite a bit is the hit show This Is Us. What's it like being on a hit show like this, Chris Sullivan? You play the role of Toby Damon in this program, and you're already renewed for season 6, currently in season 5 right now. What's it like?
It's a special thing to be a part of. Especially in these times where people are looking for things to bring them together or to give them some kind of hope. Mm-hmm. I feel like our show is a very hopeful kind of. The writers and Dan Fogelman have kind of created this guidebook for relationships and guidebook for living, and so it's nice. We have a great fan base, and we've been very lucky to be able to tell these stories. Do you
does everyone have like a good cry during a table read? I mean, is that how it seems like that might happen every now and then?
We got to save those tears for when the camera's rolling. Don't waste them at a table read.
Okay. I don't know. It's just you can get into it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. Absolutely. The scripts are extremely impactful on all of us, but there's something about, I can shoot all day long and then go back and when the episode airs and after the editors have gotten their magic hands on it and our composer Sid Khosla has added the music, there's some alchemy there that, for as special and as heavy as the set can be, once they add that music and all the post-production touches, it certainly takes it to a new level. I find myself crying more watching the show than making it.
That's amazing. And we've had Justin Hartley here, and I know he benches a lot or he can squat a lot, but if you get in a ram, you're 6'4", you could take him, right? When it all comes down to it, Chris?
Listen,
not to stir it up here, but
just by sheer weight, he is definitely his abilities in the gym far outweigh mine, but yes. I think I'm in a different weight class.
Okay.
So I don't know how you would. I think I've got him by 30 pounds.
Okay.
Which, unfortunately, isn't me bragging.
No. No. But hey, look, every LB counts. And you could take him in tennis, though, right? I'm told that's how you grew up, right, Chris? You could take him in tennis, though. When it comes down to it?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I could definitely take him in tennis. I grew up playing competitive junior tennis and went to Loyola Marymount on a scholarship before I before I gave up the court for the stage.
That's so. What is somebody 6 foot? I mean, were you like, what are they? I'm going to date myself, like the Roscoe Tanner of
oh yeah,
tennis.
Sure,
I mean, how fast was your serve?
No,
how fast was your serve? What you could
the
top
fastest I was ever clocked on a gun was 155.
Come on, Chris. Your serve,
I promise you.
$155. You, Chris Sullivan, have served a ball a $155. Really?
Listen, I used to love going to play in Reno because playing tennis at altitude, the ball moves even faster. So I was able to serve 155 at sea level once or twice. My serve and volley game was certainly something to be reckoned with, but at 6'5", the agility is
it's not there.
Is lessened. So
the professional tour record is 157. So you're right. So I assume your serve was not returned. The $155 did not come back over the net. That was an ace, right?
Yes, most often, if I was able to get in the groove, my service game was my biggest weapon.
Who'd you beat? Did you beat anybody that turned pro? You got like a pelt on the wall, Chris? You got a tennis pelt on the wall?
I don't have any pelts on the wall. I played junior tennis. I think I was ranked, in the mid 30s throughout my junior career here in California. Tennis is one of those games where the distance between, let's say, the top 5 players in the world and 5 through 10, it seems like a huge chasm, and the further down you go, the distance just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's as I learned, the mental game is where tennis is at.
Yes,
and the kind of the mental, I don't want to say, for lack of a better word, the mental instability that serves an actor.
Yes,
doesn't help a tennis player very much.
I love it. So if we had This Is Us tennis tournament, you're the top seed, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think I can confidently say that.
Okay,
yeah.
the top. I never thought of your outstanding program through possibly of a bracket or a tournament or anything like that, but here we are. I appreciate the call, Chris. Thank you very much. Congrats again on your debut album, Joseph the Spouse debut album, 6 Feet from Under, available right now where you get your music. And, of course, This Is Us, Season 6, renewed already. It's going to return in January. Everybody looking forward to that. And thanks again for your work in the Knick. I love that show, man.
My pleasure, sir. Thanks for talking.
You got it right back at you. That's Chris Sullivan. Follow him on Twitter, @SullivanTweet, and on Instagram with his near 500,000 following, @SullivanGrams. And, of course, you can catch it right here on Peacock. This Is Us. Watch it, stream it when we're not on, obviously. Obviously. After we're over. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.